What's up, everybody? It is that time again. It's ID to the J with a roll away, and we are live on www.letgoradio.net and Facebook Live. And it's that time again. It is time, 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Wednesday, Hump Day, the middle of the week. But we're going to get over the hump because I am the host with the most and the powerful post. I've got a good one today. We are doing our 21st episode of My CP Does Not Define Me. Can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, we have now had 21. We're legal enough. We've had 21 episodes of My CP Does Not Define Me, and I'd like to thank everybody as they come in today to this wonderful episode that I've decided to do because I get asked this a lot, and this is probably one of the most powerful topics that I have covered in a long time. And before I get started, I want to bring in a very special lady. She's been on the show with me several times before. I've been on her show, Sunshine on Wheels. She's a motivator. She's a mom. She's a great individual. And she's just an all-around great friend. I want to bring in Miss Shana Thomas. Miss Shana, how are you, sweetheart?
Hello, DJ, and hello, everyone out there. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. How are you doing?
Girl, I'm hanging in there like a chicken on a rope set on fire. I'm not sure what's going on yet, but we gonna get there eventually. All right, let me get these last 5 people invited, and we will begin our show today. All right, so we got everybody invited. As everybody comes in, hello, Raina. Hello, Dan. How are you? How are you? How are you? Thank everybody for joining me and tuning in. We're going to talk about what is next. Now, this relates to CP, and I have to thank Miss Wilson for this because I was doing a video yesterday, and I know Shana came in. I think you came in about 5 minutes in or so, Shana. About do you just get stuck? To where you're trying to figure it out. Hey, Cindy, how are you? You're trying to figure out, what do I do now? Do you have that what do I do now moment? Let's start there. I wanna start the show off with a quote. Okay. Stop worrying about what you can't do and be powerful in the fact of what you can do. Stop worrying about what you can't do and be powerful in the fact of what you can.
Great quote, DJ. That's a great quote.
Now, thank you, Shana. I want to ask you, have you ever had, and before we get too far into the topic here, what does what's next mean to you? Let me just ask you that.
Okay, well, for me, what's next would be, what am I going to do now? What do I have next on my list that I want to take care of? Whether it be, what are we going to do since the children are no longer in school? Do I have to start setting up a schedule for that? It's going to be, what's next for Sunshine on Wheels? What is something that I have on my list that I can do next to keep my mind occupied from what's going on within the world? For instance, COVID-19, the political background, all of that. My what's next is a list that's going to keep me occupied.
Okay, well, you answered the first part of my question. See, the problem is with what's next. Everybody, and I don't want to say everybody, a lot of people get scared about what they don't know. They have the fear of the unknown. Now, as I said, I've mentioned Edwina Wilson before, the founder and CEO of Kelly's Choice, and I'm going to mention her a lot in this episode because she helped me to realize so many things, in doing this show and doing 21 episodes. I've done a lot, but she also has guided me to a point to where I didn't even realize where I was. Now, when I say that, I've always been an in-the-box thinker, and I never realized that until after talking to her. I had My CP Does Not Define Me, and I came with that, and I was happy with it, and things were going good. And Miss Wilson said, well, how are you going to expand your brand?
There you go.
Do you have
MJJ.
do you have a
Hit
Twitter?
me with that too.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a Twitter? Do you have a Instagram? And do you have a blog? Do you have? And I'm like, no, Miss Wilson, I don't. I can't do all that. It's too much. I would be overwhelmed. So see, our first thought, or at least my first thought. Hey, Jill, how are you? Hey, Jody, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. My first thought was, oh my God, I can't do all of this at the same time. There's no way. I've just got to focus on my CP. Does not define me, and stay there. And see,
Right.
that comfort zone, when we're there, it's easy to stay with what's comfortable because it's what we know. But the what's next attitude that I'm talking about has a lot to do with the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
But what I found out is that you cannot let fear control you to a point where you're not going to do anything because you're scared of it.
True. And we've all been there, DJ. We have all been there.
Whether you're 10 years old, whether you're 30 years old, or whether you're a newborn baby, everybody has fear. Everybody has it. But the thing about fear is you have to control it before it starts controlling you.
There you go.
So I want to say this. So when I started this, and Miss Wilson was talking to me about an Instagram and a Twitter. See, I had a Twitter. I've had a Twitter for a long time. When I started My CP Does Not Define Me, I made a Twitter. Actually, it used to be, the Sports Menu Radio Show when I was doing that. But, with COVID-19 and this lovely coronavirus that's out right now, it kind of just destroyed everything, and the sports world was flattened as we know it. And exactly, Jill, break it down into small pieces. So what I started doing, and I said, okay, I want to reach more people. And the reason that I brought Shayna on this show, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what we're talking about. Shayna and I have gone through this process together, whether it's a YouTube, whether it's cooking, whether it's a radio show, whether it's dealing with children, whether it's, we'll talk to each other sometimes now just to talk and get advice and be a sounding board for each other.
Yeah.
So, I started looking, and I said, well, I've got a Twitter. I said, let me go ahead and change the name from the Sports Menu Radio Show to My CP Does Not Define Me and start linking my shows. So I did that. And I said, okay, well, now I'm posted on Twitter. Well, I might as well go ahead and change the... Now, see, Miss Wilson said, okay, you did that. Great. You've done that. Everything that I did that was positive, she began to reinforce it with positive reinforcement and say, you're doing a good job. Keep going. Keep expanding. Keep getting outside of the box. Hey, Miss Karen, great to see you. Glad you're home with Jamie. Hope you and John are doing well. Thank you for being on the show. So we continued, and I looked and I said, well, Instagram, I've never used it. I don't like posting pictures. I said, well, let me go in here and figure it out. So for 5.5 hours, I sat down a month and a half ago now, and I just fiddled around with Instagram. I just messed around with it. I made myself an account, and then I said, wait a minute. This is easy. All you got to do is post. And just, then I linked my Instagram to my Twitter, and linked those two to Facebook, and linked those two to YouTube. So now, everything that I do, everything that I have, is My CP Does Not Define Me, and it continues to circle and go everywhere posting the brand. Now I thought more about it, and I started posting on Instagram, and I started posting pictures, and I said, okay, Miss Winnie asked me to start a blog. Now I'm going to tell you, the blog for me, that was a beast right there, because setting that thing up, you have to set up the background and what it looks like and what things you want on it and where you want to go with it and how you want it to look. So I set for 3 days, and I worked with Wix.com. That's the site that I went to set up my blog. And I knew my title. I knew my title was going to be My CP Does Not Define Me. And I continued to work now and say, okay, hey, Christina, how are you? I'll get to that in just a second. Thank you for that, sweetheart. Look at you now, DJ. You're a social media pro. No, not quite, but I'm working.
You're there, DJ. You're there.
I'm working on it. Thank you, Miss Shayna. I look at it, and everything that happens when you what I learned with the what's next attitude. This is where it kind of clicked for me. You can be scared of something, or you can conquer your fear and walk through it with somebody that you trust.
Mm-hmm.
You and I have said before, Miss Shayna, that Edwina Wilson has our best interest at heart. She always has, she always will. And she is the type of person, she sees stuff in people before they even see it.
Yeah.
But she said something to me the other day, and I want you guys to listen to this because this is a powerful statement. Everybody has greatness within them, but they have to choose to whether or not they're going to be great.
There you go. Absolutely right.
Now you think about that, and let's Miss Jill said to break this down. So let me break it down for you. You think about a seed that grows in a garden. That seed comes in a little package.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Shayna, the only way to get that seed out of that package is to rip open the package and get that seed out.
Right.
If you don't open that package, that seed's going to stay a seed, and it's going to be just a seed that has nothing. So then, yeah, but a package, a package full of seeds. But when you get the right soil, and you get water, and you get sunshine, and you get something to guide that seed's growth, and expand that seed from what it is. Now listen to this. It releases the greatness with what's inside of it.
There you go.
Now think about that. All of you that are watching this show that have been on My CP before, some of you have been guests, some of you have asked questions. Shayna, were you at that point with the how can I manage all this? Did you go through that?
You know what, DJ? It wasn't how can I manage it, but once I started talking to Mrs. Wilson, of course, it's like she said you got 24 hours in a day. Mm-hmm. You might sleep 8 of those 24 hours. So what are you going to do with that remainder time that you're up and about, not doing anything? And here, I'm sitting here watching TV. Mm-hmm. So that time that I'm sitting there not doing anything could be the time that I expand my brain, can be the time that I get more guts for Sunshine on Wheels, can be the time that I figure out more topics. It could be time for anything. So what's the use in sitting around and wasting it? So she helped me open up my eyes to that.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes we get stuck in the way that we look at things and the way we see them with our eyes. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we have to have a second set of eyes to help us see things and realize, okay, you're trying this way. Try it this way. The majority of us have time for what we want to do. The problem is, how do we manage our time?
Prioritize your time, yes.
One of the things that Kimberly Stevens, a phenomenal woman who has so many jobs, and she does government work, and she does, everything. Kimberly is one of the most exciting people I know. She's actually going to be on my show next week. She showed me a planner that she had, and the planner that she had was exactly what I wanted with time slots in it, because Miss Wilson again said this: when you sit down and you map out your day, let me say that again, when you sit down and you map out your day, you know exactly what you're going to do. I got up at 10 o'clock. Well, when I get up at 10 o'clock, I'm going to eat breakfast from 10 to 10:45. Okay? And then, you go from there. Well, from 10:45 to 11, I'm going to take a shower. Okay, now I've done that. I've done my laundry. I've done my this, that, and the other. What are we doing now with the time that we have that is free? You,
Yes.
you, you don't have to sit in front of a computer screen 15 hours a day and make yourself tired. What you want to do is you want to be excited with your time. You can't look at your CP or your different ability that you have and say I can't because if
There
you
you go.
if you have the attitude I can't because, I'll tell you what, you won't because.
And trust me, DJ, we use that a lot. Well, I can't because of this. I can't because of that. My doctor said I can't do this, so I won't be able to do this there. And we use it a lot because we are afraid of the unknown or
That's
moving on to what's next.
that's exactly right. And the problem is, see, I forgot that when I do this show, it reaches people on Let Go Radio, which we're on right now, and it reaches people on Facebook Live, which we're on right now, but it also gives people a chance to open up themselves and say, well, if DJ can do it, if Shayna can do it, why can't I?
There you go.
There are people that are sitting here listening right now trying to figure out what to do with their life. Well, I gotta move. I gotta get a job. I gotta get a car. No. Slow down. Slow down. Look at what you have to do. And as Jill said earlier, break it down into pieces, but don't stop striving for what you want.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right, DJ. And you know what I think of? You know about like the snowball effect. If you have debt and you're paying off your debt, you're going to start off with the smallest thing because one, you'll be able to pay that off much faster than something that's 3 times that amount.
Sure.
So that's what we have to do in life. Start off with the smallest thing first.
Well, now you've got to be careful with that. And let me say this too, because Kimberly taught me this as well. Don't think small. If you think small, you become a small thinker. And the reason I say that, when you set a goal, I'll give you an example. When I was doing my 5-year plan that Miss Wilson asked me to set up, I set up my 5-year plan and I said, well, I at least want to have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, within the end of this year. And she says, why are you thinking small? You want to have 1 million plus. I said, 1 million plus by the end of she said, what you're doing when you set a small goal, you're stopping yourself. Because a lot of people will hit that 1,000 and they stop.
And be okay with it. Yeah, absolutely right.
And be comfortable where they are because they see the number that they set and they go, okay, well, I'll reach my goal. I don't have to worry about it now. That's not true. You have to think big to be big. And here's a big quote for you. And think about this. If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough.
Ain't that the truth?
Now, Miss Wilson can tell you about Kelly's Choice and her 3-year journey within that. Back in 2000, I think it was 2016, 2017, when she went through what she went through, how scared she was, how fearful it was, how many times she tussled with God to figure out what she was going to do. If your dreams do not scare you, if your goals do not scare you, they are not big enough. And we're not saying that it's bad if you're doing things small. But don't live small-minded is what I'm saying.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying, Shayna?
I get it. Yep, I get it.
What do you think about that?
You are absolutely right. Although you're saying that watch out for the smallest things because you got to aim higher. You got to reach for the stars. Go beyond the stars. Go reach another planet. That's what I'm thinking of, but I was looking at it in the sense of if you want to go ahead out there and get that car, but you don't have any money saved, so what should you do if you don't want to be, in a lot of debt? You should save money for that down payment on your car. So that's with anything that we are doing in life. If you feel as though you want to do something and you're afraid of it, you start somewhere. But you got to keep on going until you reach where you want to be and beyond.
That's true. Now there's two things. There's two things that Jill said, and there's one thing that Miss Karen said. I want to go through this. Jill said this: don't be afraid to ask for help or use people as a stepping stone to reach your goals. Now, in response to that, Miss Karen also said everyone needs to set daily goals. Now, listen to this. This is a good point right here, and I'm going to cover this. I was actually getting ready to get into it. Everyone needs to set daily goals, then weekly goals, then monthly goals, and monthly goals becomes goals for the year. We all need to We all need a big picture and believe in it.
Yeah.
Now that right there is exactly what I'm talking about, because if you're constantly moving forward, you always have motion. Think about that
true.
now. If you always are moving forward and you're always trying to go ahead, you're not looking back and you have motion in your life.
Right.
Now let me talk about something Jill said, because this is a biggie for a lot of people, and I don't know if this affects you, Miss Shana, and I'm going to ask you in just a minute, and the other people that are on this show. I have CP, and I'm an independent somebody, and I hated asking for help. I couldn't stand it. Oh, it bothered the crap out of me. I mean, I was like, man, I can do it myself. I don't need no help. I don't want no help. Sometimes everybody is going to need help in certain situations. And I'm saying to you guys, it is okay to ask for help.
Yeah.
Shana, you agree?
I agree with you 100%. Because if you look at it, what if you're doing something that you really love to do, but you come to a little block where you don't have a clue of what to do next, but you may know someone that may know what to do next to help you move on? Why not ask for that help? You don't want to be stuck in the same position, do you?
Right. Now, where people kind of struggle is you can ask for help, but don't rely on other people. Be careful. Do not rely, because I'm going to tell you something. People going to let you down.
Oh, yeah, you can't put your trust in man, because he'll let you down faster than anything.
Family will let you down. Now, think about it now, because I'm gonna be true for a second, okay? Remember, the only person that stops us from accomplishing our goals is ourselves.
Ourselves, absolutely right.
Because if you take time to place the blame on everybody else and don't look at what's happening in your life, you got to look at the you and see where you're at. Hey, Denzel, how are you, brother? Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
You know what, DJ?
Go ahead,
you
Shana.
are absolutely right. But, you have some of us that likes to point the blame on someone else when it doesn't go right. What about those people?
It's common. It's common because it's hard to do something, to put in work. And I'm going to go through this as well. Miss Wilson said this: you're not going to get anything you want in life by sitting and doing nothing.
Absolutely right.
You have to put forth the effort in life for what you want. The one thing I keep going to, the Bible verse that I keep going to, faith without works is dead. And if you look at it this way, if you want to build a house, or a carpenter wants to build a house, you need wood and nails and materials. But if you don't swing a hammer or saw a piece of wood, that house doesn't get built.
Yeah, but you gotta also make sure that foundation is good enough.
Right. But see, what I'm saying is, you have to start by pouring the cement. You see what I'm saying? You've got to start somewhere, and that's kind of what we're talking about. Now, I want to say this. Cindy said, that's the truth. I was the same until I got to the point where I really needed help. Karen said this, also allowing someone to help you can be a positive moment of kindness to lift that person who wants to help. Kindness carries everyone. Wow, what a powerful statement that is, Miss Karen on the ball. That's Jamie's mama, y'all. You know she's good. She takes care of everybody. I love Miss Karen. I agree with that. I used to struggle with asking for help because I'll be honest, I felt like I was a burden. I felt like I felt like, why am I gonna hinder somebody else and not get, and ask them for help and pull them down when I'm already down? And someone told me a long time ago, if you were a burden, I wouldn't help you. It's because of what you do for people. It's because of what you do for people that puts me in the mood to help you. When someone sees you trying your best and they come to lend you a hand for the right reason, we talked about this before. This goes back to the support system that we're talking about. Yeah. The village that Miss Winnie has talked about so many times. This is about life. You cannot go through life by yourself, because if you do, you end up dead and alone.
You got it.
Now, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. But the truth is, God, and look, I'm not trying to preach to anybody or say anything wrong. I'm saying what works for me. Whoever works for you, works for you. Whatever you believe in, believe in it, pray to it. Whatever's good for you is good for you. But I'm going to say this. God did not make me as a man to be alone. Okay, that's in the Word. We weren't made and created to be alone. Understand that now. It means that we were created to be with our other half. There's an other half out there. But the difference is, in the same piece, you got to work for it to get there. You got to, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're married, whether you're dating somebody, whether you see the girl on the corner and you want to bring her a flower, the flower ain't going to move itself, people. You got to pick the flower. You got to hold the flower up. You got to make motion from point A to point B to get to her and say, or, hi, my name is, and I wanted to give this to you. It ain't going to give it to her herself.
There you go.
Right or wrong?
Got it right.
I mean, last time I saw a flower move on its own, it was a Pokemon, and it scared the mess out of me. I don't know what was going on. So, look, I just want to say, sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you need help, but you got to put into work. Jill said this, sometimes when we don't allow others to help, you may be denying their blessing. Now, that's something I didn't think about. It kind of goes in relation to what Miss Karen just said.
You got the extra kindness.
When someone else helps you, they are blessed because they did something that God told them to do.
Right.
Now think about that. I'll give you a perfect example. When I got my van, my 2006 Terraza, I said, Lord, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what's next. My van that I had was breaking down. It had 124,000 miles on it. It was getting me from point A to point B, but I knew it was going downhill.
Right.
And I looked up and I looked at my life and I said, Lord, I need a van. I don't have money for a van, but I'm praying for one. I am praying that you will open the means for me to have one. My 2006 Terraza, 2 weeks later, I got a call of a family that lost their daughter. My name was placed on a list by a dealership. And a family that lost their daughter of a 2006 Buick Terraza that had 18,000 miles on it. 18,000 miles, almost brand new, was donated to me. And it only cost me $14 to get it registered.
Oh.
So let me explain something, folks. God will put us in the right direction and provide what we need. If we work and we do our best,
There you go.
He's going to give us what we need. Now, that van that I have right now just hit 34,000 miles. So you understand, I had a van that was breaking down constantly. They couldn't get parts for. It was too old. I said, what happens next?
What's next? There it is.
I said, I don't know what to do. I don't have enough money for a down payment. And so all I had to do was donate my van to a couple that didn't have a van. They fixed up my van for him so that my van would last at least a couple of years. And I got that van with 18,000 miles, and it cost me $14.
There you go. Look at that, an act of kindness, and you did what was next.
But see, that's the thing. When we go through the I don't know what's next, nobody can see the future.
Sure can.
Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. But if you don't live for today, folks, how are you going to get to what's next? Let me say that again. Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. But if you don't live for today, how are you going to know what's next? All the troubles that you're having in your life, all the things that you're trying to get to, all the things that the journey that you're going on, that's part of the journey. That's part of making you who you are as an individual, man or woman. I look at Shayna and I listen to her testimony about her story, about her life, and I'm thinking, how in the world could I ever go through that? And I look at it and I say, I've heard this before, and it just didn't click all the time. But our book, each book of each person is different.
Yeah.
Is different.
Oh yeah, it's totally different.
Karen said this: paying it forward can lift up, bless, and ease pain of those in need, to provide and show kindness. Again, we are looking at life, folks. I could have sat there and I could have just been in the corner, rolled up in a ball, doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because I was calling dealerships, I was looking online, I was putting stuff on Facebook, I was trying to figure out if I needed to move back to where I was before. I was going through so much stuff, and I finally just looked up at God and said, I can't take it. I said, Lord, I need a van, and I don't know what to do. I have tried to do everything myself, and it's not working. Can you please provide what I need?
That's it right there. And if we would stop trying to do everything ourselves and just go to God in prayer, or whoever you believe in, you go to that person, you talk to that person, and let it work itself out. You can't figure everything out on your own.
See, and that's true as well. But here was my thought there. God helps those who helps themselves.
There you go.
And it's not, if I would have sat there and moped around and not done what I was supposed to do, I guess the whole reason behind this show, it's so amazing. I said it to Edwina yesterday. I said, you're that spark. You ever heard somebody say, man, you need to put a fire under your butt and get going? That's Miss Winnie, because once I started doing all these things with Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and blogging, and I started expanding the brand, and then I got my van, and you keep looking at how life keeps expanding.
in itself. There you go.
You stop worrying about what you can't do and start focusing on what you can.
Yes.
That's what life is about. People in this world are so concerned with what they cannot do or they can't get. I'm not going to get that job because I'm not qualified enough. Well, did you try? Did
There
you
you go.
did you put in your resume? Did you put in a cover letter? Did you research the job? Did you look online to see what it needs? Folks, we got to believe in ourselves. Look, cerebral palsy is big enough. Cerebral palsy is misunderstood. Cerebral palsy is thought totally different than what it is. Everybody wants to look down on us as a people. Doesn't matter what disability you got. If you say disability, you might as well say that people think you're different.
Oh, yes. And that you can't do anything.
Because you are where you are and you're not going to get anywhere. Let me tell you something. That's wrong. And that's a wrong way to think. That is a wrong way to think. People in life that want to do something, whether you have a disability or not, are able. They just have to find a way to get started. And sometimes that's the hardest part. When we get stuck or we get in front of an obstacle, we get in front of something that tells us we can't, we stare at it. We stare at it and we say, okay. And we see when, answer me this, Shana, have you ever heard somebody say if you hear something long enough, you start believing it?
Oh, yeah. Even if, you know what, DJ, to be honest with you, some of us may still do that. We'll even talk ourselves into believing it.
That's exactly where I was going. There are members in this world that will continue to tell you you can't and put negative thoughts into your mind and sow negative seeds into your soul. And when you start believing that, you've got to break from that. It's you know, I was given an opportunity 2 years ago to make a change. Not just for people, but a change within my life. Yeah, I can broadcast. I can hold a microphone and do all these professional things and use my professional voice and sound all good. But what was the message that I was delivering doing for the people that were listening? That's the question you've got to ask right there.
That's it.
When you want to start a YouTube channel or when you want to start a Facebook, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to have fun? Are you trying to create something that that's never been created? Are you trying to push an item out on the market? Let me go back a little bit. Remember when women couldn't vote?
No, boy. Yeah.
Think about that now. Women couldn't vote. And everybody said, oh, ain't no woman going to be in Congress. Ain't no woman going to run for president. Ain't no woman going to vote. They don't need to vote. They need to stay in the kitchen and stay home.
Boy, are they wrong.
Let me tell you, that was the mindset for so long, but then women got the power to vote. And look what happened. Look what opened up. You know what shocks me about life and what's next? I look at all the racism going on in this world. About white and black and Spanish and this and Chinese and that, and stop. We got to stop. Because what's next is we have to come together and realize that people are people and stop looking at the color of skin.
There you go.
Because I'm going to tell you, racism still goes on in this world and it's pathetic. It makes me sick. How did I get from what's next to racism? Because people hear something or see something and they get it in their head that someone is different by the color of their skin. You can't.
Taught behavior.
And you look at, why are they here? Because they belong here. That's why. Black lives do matter. They do matter.
Everybody matters.
Everybody matters. And that's the way that I feel, because when I look at life and when I look at what goes on in this world, I don't just see black and white and
There you
Chinese,
go.
and I see people. And
Mm.
that's the first start right there. That's the first foot, so to speak, that we've got to put forward. And oh wow, Miss Karen hit it again. You never realize how unknowingly how you can inspire or influence or ignite another person. All races need the same uh all races need the same color. If blood transfusion we are as with blood transfusions we are the same. Think about that now. I've said
Mm.
this before. Whether you're black, white, yellow, green, I don't care if you got purple polka dots.
We all bleed the same.
We all bleed the same. We all have a heart, and we're all black when the lights go out. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. People need to stop basing things on color,
Color.
on race. They need to base things on character and creed of an individual. Because if the person can get the job done and do it right and do it respectfully, that's all I care about.
There you go.
I grew up. I grew up around African American people my whole life. When I was little, there were only 2 Caucasian individuals in my class. And you know what? That didn't bother me. Because I was not raised to look
There
at
you
color.
go.
I was raised to see the influence and the positivity and the power of people.
Mm.
The power of people get things done. And when we stop social injustice and we stop doing stupid stuff, and that's what it is, it's stupid,
Yes.
we have got to come together and stop trying to kill everybody over stupid stuff.
And stop killing each other.
Stupid stuff. This mess has got to stop. We've got to start looking at the power of the heart and the power of the person, not the color of the skin.
Yeah. There you go.
Because when that happens and we can actually see people for who they are and what they are, that's when disability won't matter.
There you go. There it is.
You know, I get so tired of hearing that well you're white, you don't know what I've been through. You're black, you don't know what I've been through. You're Mexican, you don't know what I've been through. Nobody knows what anybody has been through because nobody has walked in that person's shoes.
Absolutely.
But the day I look at color is the day I don't exist. Now I want you to think about that. The day I look at color in this world is the day I don't exist.
There you go.
I'm an individual, and I ask what's next. What's next? I'll tell you exactly what's next. We as a people have to stop judging. And we as a people have to start understanding. You don't have to go through the same thing to know that a person is hurting. A person's appearance doesn't mean a daggone thing. A person's appearance has nothing to do with who they are. A person's appearance doesn't make them who they are. A person's character and their heart and their self makes them who they are.
Yeah.
I just, the what's next attitude. If we can't get past ourselves and look at ourselves in the mirror, how can we look at anybody else?
How can we move forward in life?
You know, and the sad part about it, Shayna, is it saddens me because I look at life as a whole and the blessings that I've been giving, meeting Shayna and meeting Miss Wilson and meeting the people that are on this show right now. I have family again.
Yeah.
And I talked a little bit about this earlier, and I want to read something Miss Karen just wrote. She said, Jill, I so agree. We must get over able or disabled. We have to see personality, soul, and hearts for beautiful. Let's see, for beautiful people can be so ugly. That's true. Oh my God, is that true? You can wear the fanciest dress and have the prettiest makeup on and have the fanciest car, and you can be the ugliest so and so out there because you treat people with disrespect and you want them to be like you, but you've been alone for so long that you don't know what to do.
There you go.
And you know, one of the things that I've learned about having CP, and I say this, and some people understand it and some don't. Some understand it and some don't. And I know I'll get Shana to cover this as well. I consider my cerebral palsy a blessing. now, and I say this because this world right now is go, 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 do, run, 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 go, 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 never stop, never look, just do, go. You got to get to where you're going. But my cerebral palsy has allowed me to slow down and realize exactly what I'm looking at and take the time to value the moment that you're in.
Yeah.
Take the time to value the moment that you're in. Because the next one is not guaranteed.
Yes, not promised.
What do you think, Shannon?
You are absolutely right, DJ. Because I take a look back now living with my disability, now that I know that it's nothing wrong and it's nothing to be ashamed of, I look back and think, wow, would I be this far ahead as I am now if, you know, I was up and walking and doing what I was doing before getting into this, you know, wheelchair, because I wasn't born with my disability.
Right.
It happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and let me tell you something, before having my disability, this girl was on the run.
Constant.
No, stop.
Constant. Yep.
And now to be sitting in my chair, do you know how much time that I've sat back and learned myself, figure out things for myself without depending on someone else? Hey, it happened and I'm here for it. That's it.
You know, I look at it and I ask a friend of mine, you know, he said, I got to do this next Tuesday and I got to do this next Wednesday and I got to go here and I got to do this and I got to go to the store and I got to go. I said, man, when's the last time you stepped outside and just breathed the fresh air for a minute?
Hello.
He said, what you talking about? I said, yeah, exactly. I said, see, everything is so hustle and bustle. Everything is so hustle and bustle and go, go, go that people forget to stop.
The simplest things in life.
Karen said this, COVID has demanded that everyone take a re-evaluated look at what is important and who is important. Good Lord, Miss Karen, are you hitting some homers out of the park? Oh, my God. Woo, this woman, I'm telling you. You know, everybody said 2020 has been a bad year. Or a lot of people have said 2020 has been a bad year. I'm going to tell you something. 2020 has not been a bad year. Because we are alive.
There you go. You're still here.
And we have a chance to step back and see what is going on in the world around us right now. You know, you look at stage 1 and stage 2 and stage 3 and this is closed and that's closed. Do you know I have heard more about families sitting down to dinner and getting together and people writing people and people calling people and checking on people because they're worried. This COVID-19 has not only had us stop, but this COVID-19 has helped people to realize we got to come together.
Yes, and there's more important things to do instead of being on the run all the time. Hey, sometimes you got to sit down and get your house in order.
Oh, did you hit that one, Miss Shayna? Yes, ma'am.
Maybe you had to sit down and get your health in order. It's a reason for it all. We may not understand it and may not like it, but it's a reason for it all. And it's all what you do with it.
And we don't have to understand it to know what that reason is.
Sure don't.
Everybody says, man, I wish COVID-19 would end. Man, I wish I could go. See, here's the thing. When you're told to stay in the house, all you want to do is go outside.
Oh yeah.
When you're told to go outside and don't come back in the house, the only thing you want to do is come back in the house.
Back in the house. Oh yeah.
This thing has swept across countries, killed people. Some people still think it's a joke. Some people not wearing masks. Some people not taking it serious. Look, I'm telling y'all, reevaluate life and reevaluate yourself. I got 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes before this show is over with. And I want to take a second to thank my viewers and to thank the people that call in and conference in with me and email me and message me and all the topics that I've gotten. Josh has been a viewer of my show. Karen has been a viewer of my show. Jill has been a viewer of my show. Several others. Miss Wilson. Shayna has been part of, Shayna's been with me since day one. We've been long time friends now. And again, I said we help each other a lot. Something
we
that
brothers and sisters. We're leaning on each other here.
There was something that you told me, I think it was last month, that your 15-year-old son said, look at DJ, if he's doing it, why can't I?
It's no excuse.
It's no excuse.
It's no excuse. Yeah.
That the innocence of a child is a powerful thing. Because I'm going to tell you guys something. Childhood doesn't last long.
Mm-mm. No, Lord knows it don't.
They grow up, and nowadays everybody wants the best shoes and the best clothes and the best this and the best that. To see true innocence and realize, man, he's making a difference. He's doing what he wants to do. Why can't I? That's the real goal right there. The people that watch this show and the people that listen to this show and share it, and don't just share it, but believe in it. I'm not just saying this to bring wind out of my own lips. I'm saying this to reach people on a level that's never been done before.
That's it.
And it's hard. I meant every Wednesday at 2:00, I've got an audience now. I've got people that follow me, people that expect me. And when I'm not on a show, do you know the messages that I get? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? What happened? What happened? What happened? That's why when I don't have a show, I post that I'm not going to, because my audience deserves to know.
Yeah.
My show started getting 100 to 300 views. My shows now get as many as 3,900. I'm almost up to 4,000.
There you go.
And it's because people are starting to grasp. And people are starting to see, thank you, Jill, I appreciate that, what this show is about. Yes, I have cerebral palsy. Yes, I've had cerebral palsy for 38 years, but that does not define me. In some ways, cerebral palsy does define me. In some ways, it does help make me who I am, but it does not stop me from doing what I want to do.
There you go.
Shayna, how can you be reached on social media? Let everybody know, please.
Yes, if you would like to reach out to me, of course, Sunshine on Wheels. I could be reached at Facebook as Shayna Thomas, Sunshine on Wheels, also single dash able parent, Instagram, Miss Sunshine 0428, Twitter at Sunshine on Wheels, blog, which is sunshineonwheels.vixsite. Email me, sunshineonwheels@gmail.com, and also my YouTube channel, Life of Sunshine on wheels, so you can reach out to me any way that you would like to.
Guys, you can get me on Twitter at MyCP Does Not Define Me at Minion Sports. You can get me on Instagram at MyCP Does Not Define Me. You can get me on my blog at CarterDJ85, Wix site /MySite1. You can reach me at CarterDJ85 at gmail.com, and you can reach me also at the Sports Minion Radio Show at yahoo.com. If you would like to be a guest on the show, if you'd like to discuss a topic, do me a favor, drop me a line, hit me on YouTube, Cooking with DJ Carter, Capable Cuisine. Hit me on YouTube, Chairmaster Games. Hit me on YouTube. My CP Does Not Define Me. That's right, I got 3 YouTube channels. I got 3 emails. I got a blog. I got an Instagram. I got a Twitter. Y'all can hit me up if y'all want to talk about a topic, if y'all want to hear something, talk about something, let me know. But please, do me a favor. The point is, you've got to take that first step and contact me and let me know about you. Because without you, this show doesn't go where it goes. Please share it to our pages, to Facebook. Share it with someone that you think might make a difference. Because all it takes is one chance to make a dream come true. And you can do it too. Guys, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. We will be back live next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for episode 22 of My CP Does Not Define Me with special guest Kimberly Stevenson. I'm looking forward to that one. Shana, just leave us with a word of inspiration if you would.
Of course, you know what? If you believe that you can't, you will never succeed. Step out on faith and just do what you can and let God take the rest.
Thank you, Shana, so much. I want to leave you guys with this quote. In the beginning, you must start, but to finish, you must work to get to the finish line. So remember that. In the beginning, you must start, but in order to finish, you must work to get to the finish line. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to My CP Does Not Define Me. I am D to the J with the roll away. Thank everybody for tuning in and watching. Please share and post all over. We will see you next week. If you cannot be good, be bad, but be good at it. This is D to the J with the roll away saying see you when I see you guys. Peace. All right, Miss Shana, that was